Welcome back to another video. My name is Derek, and today I'm going to be showing you how to replace the LCD panel on a MacBook Pro. This is a 16-inch MacBook Pro model 2485. As you can see, the display's just got lines through it, cracks. It's definitely needing to be fixed. So I'm going to show you how to replace the LCD panel only. Let's get into the video. Alright, so as you can clearly see, we have some interesting colorations here. There's some cracks. Needs a new display for sure. I'm going to go ahead and turn it off, flip it around, and we're going to take out the 8 screws on the back. And once those 8 screws are out, we can then lift, and it should pop that on this side as well. Pop, and then it'll slide towards me just a little bit, and then it'll come off. Now we're gonna disconnect the battery, take off these 2 screws and bracket, flip up the flap, and slowly slide back the zip connector there. So we'll unscrew that screw, and then there's the battery disconnected. Now up at the top, we've got a series of bunch of screws. For example, here's 3, 3, 2, 3, 3. There's a bunch of screws along the bottom that we're going to take out, along with the bracket that covers the sleep-wake function and the coax cables, the antennas here, and the 3 display ribbon cables. So let's go ahead and take those out. Once all the screws are out, we'll go ahead and disconnect the 3 coax cables, and we should be able to lift out the antenna here. Then we can pull up the display flexes, remove the protectors for the hinges, and now I'm going to take out 2 of the 3 big hinge screws on each side. All right, and now that I just have 1 left, what we can do is we can lift this up, take it just past 90 degrees, and when we flip it over, we can hang it off the edge of the desk and finish removing those 2 screws. And when we do that, then the hinges are going to be free, and we can wiggle out the display and it'll come away like that. Set this aside for now, and now we can turn our attention to the display. So up at the bottom of the display, there is a glass bezel that protects the flexes down at the bottom. I'm going to take a very thin plastic sheet. This is an OCA protector sheet, and I'll insert it under the glass bezel. And what I'm going to do is slowly slide it all the way across the bottom of the screen and break up the adhesive that's holding down. It'll only take a few seconds if you go slow. If you go too fast, you might end up cracking the bezel. It's a replaceable part. It's just annoying to have to replace something that if you were careful you won't break. And even when I've been careful in the past, I have managed to break them. If you ever find yourself getting stuck anywhere, you can always start from the other side and go the other way, meet up where you're stuck, and it tends to work just fine that way. All right, and then it will pop away, and we'll gently set this aside so it doesn't break. All right, in the bottom here, we've got 2 silver screws that hold down another bracket, or should I say like bezel-like thing. It protects the flex cables here. So got some double-sided tape that keeps it holding on to the frame a little bit. So we'll gently pry away, and it can crack, so you got to be gentle with it. All right, and then that'll come off. We'll set that aside. Now on this side, we do have a flex cable that we're going to be removing and putting on the new display. So I'm going to peel that away from the metal bracket here, and then gently with a spudger, I'm going to gently pry it away because there's some double-sided tape holding it down to the frame. Oh, and there's also a screw, I almost forgot, holding down part of the flex. So we'll remove that pentalobe screw just like that. Now we'll remove the bezel, the rubber gasket that goes around the perimeter. Just going to get under it on one side, and we'll lift up, and then we'll slowly pull, and it'll come out, and it'll go around the top, and we'll bring it on down to the end, and we'll save this for later. At the bottom, we've got 9 black screws that we need to remove. All right, and once those screws are out, we're going to focus on removing the adhesive around the perimeter of the underside of the display. On the corner here, there's a small blue glue. On the corner here, there's a small black adhesive. If you grab onto it and you roll it up in tweezers, what'll eventually happen is you'll start to see it want to pull out from under the display. So I'll roll it up, gently pull, roll some more, gently pull. You don't want to push too hard, otherwise you'll snap it as soon as it starts to really let go. There it's, oh, see, I just snapped it. It's that easy to break. See if I can pick up, there's a little bit showing, like a teeny tiny bit. Let's see if I can grab it. All right, I was able to grab it and gently pull, and you can see I only have gone about a ½ inch, but we're already at 4 inches. This stuff will stretch to feet. This side will stretch to over a yard before it comes out. So I'm just using my fingers to gauge how much tension there is, because if I run into a spot where the tension's too much, it will break. And then it's really tedious and difficult to remove if it breaks. So I'm going to really take my time just to make sure I don't break by pulling at different angles. All right, we're about 1/3 of the way up, and we'll keep going. And we're almost at the halfway mark, and you can already see how long that is. I've never been able to get it off in one continuous piece. It'd be really cool to do that in this video. This is one of the spots where it always wants to break. All right, we're coming up on the first corner. I'm shocked that it hasn't broken yet. We're about to come around the corner. All right, we've rounded the corner, so we'll continue along the top, hopefully not breaking it. There's a couple tricky spots right through here. All right, we're at the halfway mark. I'm just past 40 minutes into this repair. So I've gone through the easy part. We're starting on the easy part, and it's gonna get hard here in a second. We're almost across the top. All right, we're about to turn the corner. I can't believe I made it this far without breaking it, and it broke. But oh my gosh, take a look at how long. I mean, I don't know if that shows you perspective, but that's crazy. It's a crazy amount right there. Let's get this side done by pulling on this side. All right, wrapping it up in the tweezers, gently pulling, and we'll slowly pull it out. I don't know if you can tell, but we're getting pretty stretched there. All right, we've made it past the halfway mark. This is where it gets tricky, and that's why it broke right there. And it broke. I'm going to take a piece of plastic. I'm going to slide it up the edge. See if I can't get the rest of the adhesive from here to poke out again. I was able to fish it back out. So we're going to see if we can get it to go a little bit further without breaking again. All right, we're almost to the point where I think the other one broke. So it should be coming out any second now. There it is. That corner is now free. So what we're going to do is carefully lift out the display and pull it away. We'll set this aside for a second. 2 little bracket pieces that stick up that prevent this from sliding out. We'll push down on them in order to wiggle this connector out, just like that. Now let's take a look at our new display here. We'll go ahead and just slice through and open it up. We'll slide out the new panel. All right, we'll set this aside. We'll take back our new display here. Along the bottom here, we've got these 4 sections where we have 2 little pieces of tape. What we got to do is take those and peel them back. And what you'll notice is when we finally pull those out, it'll let go of the flex cables, the display flexes that are folded over in a very unique way. We need to return the new screen to a folded state like this. Otherwise, this will be too bulky and it won't sit at the bottom. It won't sit flush at the bottom. I'm just going to go ahead and take some time to peel up all the remaining stickers, or I guess tape. All right, and now that we have those up, we've got a couple things we need to do. One is we need to separate the metal bracket from the broken panel. And luckily, because there's no backlight on this, we can use some isopropyl alcohol to assist. So we'll get some isopropyl alcohol, throw it in there, get out a metal tool here, and slice through that, just like that. And then this will fold up, just like so. Now to make this easier to work with, I'm just gonna take some scissors and we're gonna cut through, just gonna cut through the flexes here. That way I don't have to deal with the broken panel. We'll peel back the 3 center flex cables. And it looks like the adhesive behind these 3 is intact. So I won't have to worry about putting new adhesive there. But we will need to put new adhesive along this whole section here. And I'm going to start to peel away the daughter board here. Okay. I want to leave behind the pull tabs and the clear adhesive that's below it. So we're going to try to keep those out of the way and down as we pull this back. and off nice and slowly. Don't care about bending the daughter board. I do care about bending the bracket. So that's why I'm holding it nice and rigid. And I'm also going to try to save the adhesive. So if it starts to come away with the daughter board, I'm going to push it back onto the bracket with the spudger. We'll make our way down. Makes quick work of keeping that adhesive down. And we're almost to the end. And there we go. Now we've left the bracket adhesive all intact. I'm going to flip that over. I used to take the time to scrape away at the solid adhesive there, but I found it not necessary. All right, we now have new adhesive on the back. Now on certain MacBooks, one of the things that you have to do in order to get the new screen to work is you have to get in here and remove an EEPROM and an IC and swap them over to the new screen. On this model, on this 16-inch, sure, you don't have to do that. So I won't be doing that. I go ahead, I'm going to peel off the protector here and here. We'll get out our bracket, we'll lift up and we'll gently set it down. And I'm moving it around until I like where it's at, which I do. So we'll go ahead and compress it down all the way across the bottom. I'm going to pull off the protectors here. And now we can peel off the masking tape. And I'll gently lift it off, flip it over. All right, now what we'll do, I'm going to peel off the protector here. And then we'll fold up the flex. And once I like the alignment, we'll go ahead and compress it on down. And this is where it gets somewhat tricky. What we've got to do is fold this flex over, keeping it nice and tight, and then pull this over to hold it in place. And that way, this area isn't going to be too bulky when we go to install it. So we'll pull that around to the back, pinch it down, put some tension on the tape, and then flip it around. And we'll do the same thing on these two. Pull it up, pinch it on down, and fold it around just like that. We'll take our display flex and we'll gently push it in the connector till we get that little click. I'm going to get some of my tester tape. I've cut a little angle on it so we can get up to the corner, and we'll tape right along the edge of the display panel. And we'll do the same coming off the top. And now we'll tape up the last side and go all the way down. And we'll cut off the end. And this panel's almost ready to be installed. We'll grab our lid here. I've cleaned off kind of any of the residual adhesive that kind of broke and stuck, stayed away. I'm going to get out my extra thin tape so we can go along the border and install the bezel. It's always hard to find where this one starts. All right, we'll get out a little piece, and I'm going to put the adhesive down inside that teeny little groove for the rubber bezel, and we'll peel off that little protector there. And I'm going to flip this around to make it easier for me to do the top side. All right, then we will carefully remove the final sides protector. And now we can install back the bezel. So I like to start with the top corners first. We'll go to the center corner and then down towards the bottom. And then we'll compress it in, smooth out the sides, getting it down into that groove. All right, so I've got the bezel installed. What I like to do is leave the ends of the rubber up because the bracket needs some to slide under them. So it's easier just to leave them up like that. I'm going to peel away the protector here on the back of the panel. We'll flip it over. Make sure there's no dust. We'll slide in the bottom of the display. All right, to temporarily hold it in place, I'm going to take one of the black screws. Just go with the center one here. And we'll put it back almost all the way tight, not all the way tight. And now that I've confirmed everything looks good as far as the alignment is concerned, now we'll lift the display out and we'll remove the protectors for the adhesive, peeling it away on the last side, and then we'll let it gently set inside the frame and give it a nice little squeeze all the way around. And now we can take the corner screws and install them. And now I can put back the corner rubber bezel and continue to put the screws along the bottom. If you're finding a bulge along the bottom here, it's because you misaligned the metal bracket that goes across the bottom of the panel. You either went too high or too low on it. All right, we're going to line up the flex inside the little bracket here. And then I need to take that one screw and put the flex back, screw it down against the frame. And then we've got our plastic bracket here. We'll push down against the flexes with its 2 screws. All right, now we'll get out our glass bezel here. We'll take some adhesive and we'll lay it out where the old adhesive was. And now we'll pull off the protector and we'll install this and then we'll smooth that out. We'll get out our MacBook. We'll take the screen and we'll let the hinges fold back down into place just like that. And now we can put in a single screw on each side. That way we can lift it up and we can fold it in. Make sure it gets a nice fit along the bottom and closes up nicely. And now it's time to just basically do everything we did at the beginning but in reverse. By putting back all the screws, make sure the connectors are nice and solid. We'll put back the protectors for the hinges. Now I can stick back the antenna and we can connect up the coax cables. We'll put back all of the brackets and screws. All right, now that all the screws, brackets, and everything's connected back up there, we'll go ahead and reconnect the battery connector and the little connector. And then we'll connect down this connector and put back the last bracket and 2 screws. Now we'll take the back panel, slide it on, and then we'll click in the clips, and then we'll put the screws back. Obviously, you could test it long before completely closing it up, but I'm confident in the repair, so I'm just going to go ahead and finish the repair before I test it. All right, so let's flip this over and we'll see if it works. We'll go ahead and open it, go ahead and turn it on. These guys always want their power cord in order to boot, so after being reset and everything like that, so we'll plug it in, and there we've got the Apple logo. It's kind of hard to see behind the sticker, but we got the status bar going across the top. We'll let this finish up, and there we go. It's all fixed, looking really good. Last thing I'll do, now that everything looks great, is I'm just gonna peel off the protector here, and look at that. What a beauty. Just another quick look at it. You can see it's all looking awesome. And that's how to replace the LCD panel on a MacBook Pro 16-inch. This is the model A2485. It's quite the process. You should plan for at least 3 hours, if not more, for this repair. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments below. Thanks a ton for watching. We'll see you in the next video.